Hi, it's Odeean here. Today I've got S.H.Monsterarts Mothra. It's been a while since I did a video for a Monster Arts figure, and I know some of you guys have been asking for it. The reason is that I've got a huge Godzilla, the Gigantic series Burning Godzilla, on pre-order, and my Godzilla money has kind of been, I've been pooling it up to buy that, so I've had to skip something. Like I skipped this Batra here, and I skipped Gigan because I never really liked the modern Gigan, but I do like Mothra, so I thought I had better shell out the money and get this guy. For the longest time, I was looking at pictures of this Mothra online and thinking maybe I was going to skip this Mothra as well, because you know, Mothra isn't that different from iteration to iteration, and it seemed like I was satisfied with my Revoltech, because just in pictures it kind of looks pretty similar. I mean, as you would expect. I read that this Mothra is significantly larger than the Revoltech, so that kind of just pushed me over the edge for ordering it. Mothra is really beautiful just as a display piece. Unlike other Monster Arts who you may have to have a predisposition for monsters and kaiju to appreciate, anyone could appreciate how nice this Mothra looks. It's really artistic. The pattern on the wings is beautiful. If you listen to this, the wings are kind of hard plastic, very similar feeling and sounding hard plastic to what we got on the Revoltech, but the body itself feels a little bit more durable than that release, which I will show in a moment. Going back up close, let's have a look at the eye. You can see under the eye there, it's got these kind of reflective cells, really like a bug's eye, covered in a plastic dome. You can see the little bit of warpage on the dome there. The dome isn't actually perfectly smooth in its curve. It's a little bit weird. In person you don't notice that. It's just that I've got this up super close. In person it looks really good. Got a little mouth that opens and closes. I don't know, do you call that mandibles? I'm not sure, but either way, Mothra's little bug beak can open there. It's got some weird looking little teeth. The antenna at the top here is somewhat posable. They feel very thin, and I don't want to put too much pressure on, because I'm sure that they will get a crease and maybe a stress mark or snap. But if you want to rotate them, that's definitely possible. Get them oriented in different directions. It's pretty cool. The head, here we go. Now, I wasn't going to mention this until later, but these legs are held on with little balls like this, and when I first got it, I was checking them one by one to see are they all good, and 5 of them were, but when I got to this guy in the middle, it just fell off, and it does have a tendency to just fall off. It's a tiny ball, and I can understand how hard it must be to achieve that, but still, it's a little bit disappointing. These figures are a bit expensive, and I don't know. I don't like the fact that that annoyingly falls off all the time. Back to posability, as I was saying, the head is on a ball. You've got reasonably wide range of motion to emote with this girl looking from side to side, up and down. This section back here is fully articulated. So just like with our Godzillas, how we got tails with many segments, Mothra actually has many segments. So I'm really losing legs as I grab this. You can see that the tail can bend right up like that, or down about that far. It can also go really significantly side to side. You can see there it's moving underneath the wing a little bit. So it's got quite a big swishing action, which is really good. I mean, I've seen real bugs do that, and this pulls it off so seamlessly. You can hardly see the gaps. When you have it posed, it looks like it was meant to be that way. So I'm very impressed with the tail, not so impressed with the legs. The wings are also independently articulated. So if I bring them together, that's about the range on the top. The bottom ones can go down about the same amount, or they can both move up by that much together. You'll notice at the joint there, if I can focus on it, there's a hollow circular pin. Bandai tend to use that kind of pin quite a lot in their Soul of Chogokin toys, but this is the first time I've seen it in a S.H.Monsterarts. On macro photography up close like this, it does form somewhat of an eyesore, being the only metallic component on this otherwise fluffy looking moth. But in person, it really doesn't show up that much, and especially at arm's length on a display stand, you hardly notice that at all. I'm sure it'd be really simple to just blob something in there and paint over it, and I'm thinking, you know, even some black putty or something you can get from the hardware, you could fill that up. I doubt that it would have much impact on the posability. Mothra comes with this nice shiny black stand, pretty different compared to other Monsterarts. It's so uniform in color, like black. Most of the time they're see-through. It's a standard base otherwise, except that it has this adapter specifically suited to Mothra on the end. Now, it's not rock solid connector, but it does the job. I think you put this big section at the back and the little indents around the legs, kind of like this. Now, it does its job. It's a little bit precarious. Mothra is quite big compared to the stand, and I don't think that this stand has been made specifically for her. It's just obviously an adapted normal display stand. I think that it is precarious. It has fallen over on me a couple of times, and it might be a good idea to put something heavy on that base just to hold it still if you're going to leave it permanently out like this. Now for some size comparisons. I think the most useful size comparison to make would be with the Revoltech, because a lot of people would have that. So if I put them side by side here, you can see their design is pretty similar but not identical. I mean, they're both definitely different toys. The Revoltech is much smaller. Now, I didn't realize this, as I said, up until right before I bought Mothra, and that's the reason I ended up pulling the trigger, even though I was trying to save money. This Mothra is much, much bigger. If I put it at the side like this, you can see that the sculpt with the extra size, you get more of that fluffy texture happening on the S.H.Monsterarts compared to the Revoltech. I was happy with the Revoltech, but now that I see them side by side, the Revoltech definitely looks much more like a toy, and the Monsterarts looks much more like the show, which is really cool. They both have pretty good eyes, and you know what? I think they both do a good job for the sizes that they're working with. It's just that with me, bigger is always better, and this Mothra trumps it because of that. And next, a comparison with the Heisei period original Godzilla from Monsterarts, the first Monsterarts that was released. Something about this looks a little bit off to me. I know I've got a light here shining right on it because it's a very black figure. It's hard to put these in camera at the same time. Mothra is so white, he's so black. But he looks a little bit underwhelming next to Mothra compared to what I think he looked like in the movie. I'm guessing that the junior version of Burning Godzilla is going to look a little bit better with Mothra. Okay, finally, the Showa Godzilla. Now, he looks fine with this Mothra. I know that Mothra changes from movie to movie. It's definitely not a Showa Mothra, but you know, I can't remember the difference. I would have to go and look at the movie. So for me, this Mothra fits pretty much anywhere, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not against getting another Mothra. I just don't feel that I have any real need. Even size-wise, I'm happy with this Mothra being big next to Godzilla. The way I remember it in the movies, Mothra is freaking huge, and if anything, I feel like compared to some of the Monsterarts, this Mothra might be a little bit too small. My final thoughts: I like it. It's an annoying figure. Too many bits pop off here, and the stand continuously disengages from it, and it falls over, and it's not really strong enough to hold the weight. So yeah, definitely annoying, but it definitely looks good at the same time as being annoying. So if you like Mothra, I think that you really should get this, because it's a pretty good version of Mothra. I know that there are a lot of Mothra toys from past years out there. I didn't own any of them except that Revoltech, so maybe that's why I feel like it's worth getting. If you already own some other really good Mothras, then maybe it's not worth picking this up. It is pretty expensive for what it is, so about $65 plus shipping, so you might end up paying $75, $80 by the time you get it. But if you're in the US, I'm sure you can get it with pretty good shipping options compared to what I have to pay here in Australia. I do like it. I don't want to sound too complaining because it's really beautiful. I mean, you can see how beautiful it is putting it back there like that. It's kind of a piece of art. You could stick that up on your wall and have people come over and admire it. It just looks nice. It's a nice decoration. I'm sure my daughter would love this. She hasn't seen this yet. She knows I'm getting it and she really wanted one, but after playing with this and having it just fall to pieces too many times, I don't think I'm going to get her one, because it's kind of a waste of money to give this to a kid. The kid's going to end up losing all the legs really quickly. So that's a bit sad, because she really likes Mothra. She really likes Mothra, and this would have made a fantastic looking gift for her, but it's just not appropriate for kids, I think. So that's my video review for Bandai's S.H.Monsterarts Heisei period Mothra. I'm Odeean. Thank you for watching.